Hi guys, so here we have multiplying standard form. So here in these two examples we've got two numbers in each case that are being multiplied by each other, but both numbers at the start are in standard form. So first thing I'm going to do anyway in the first example is I'm going to write the same line again, but I'm going to put the numbers together. So I'm going to circle, so I'm going to put the 3 and the 4 together because they're kind of just normal numbers, they're not anything to the power of or anything like that. And then I'm going to put the two 10s together, so the 10 to the power of 14 and the 10 to the power of 7. So I'm going to do 3 times 4, and I'm going to do that in one bracket, and then I'm going to do the 10 times 14 times 10 to the power of 7. So first part anyway, 3 multiplied by 4, well that's just 12, that's obvious enough. And then, but the second part, the 10 to the power of 14 times 10 to the power of 7, what you need to remember here is a rule of indices, where if you've got the same number, the same base, so in this case 10, with different powers and they're being multiplied, what you do is you add the two powers together. So that's one of the first laws of indices. So 10 to the power of 14 times 10 to the power of 7 would just be 10 to the power of 14 plus 7, which would be 21. So that's basically my answer, but in most cases you might be asked to convert your number back into standard form or scientific notation. So because the 12 isn't between 1 and 10 here, it's not in standard form at the minute. So if I have to convert that back, then I'd have to make the first number into a number between 1 and 10. So in that case it would be 1.2. and it would be times 10 to the power. So because I've moved the decimal point one place to the left there, I've made the number smaller. I've turned the number from 12 into 1.2, so I've made the number smaller. Therefore my power, in order for it to balance out, will become bigger, because we're not trying to change the number between there and there, we're just trying to change the format of it. So if you make the first part smaller, which in this case I did from 12 to 1.2, you must make the power bigger. So my final answer in standard form there would be 1.2 times 10 to the power of 22. Second question then. Again, I'm going to take the two numbers, the 9 and the 3, and I'm going to put those together. So 9 times 3. And then I'm going to take the two 10s, so the 10 to the power of 3 and the 10 to the power of 1. And I'm going to put those together. So 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 1. And keep my times in the middle. So 9 multiplied by 3 is 27. And then 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 1 would be 10 to the power of 4. And again, my 27 isn't in standard form here, so I can change that into 2.7 by moving the decimal point to the left one. And then again, because I've made the number smaller again here, I must make my power bigger, so it would be 10 to the power of 5. So if you want to try these two now, just pause the video and have a go at them, and then if you want to play it on, I'll go through the answer. So the first one here is 4 multiplied by so I'm going to do 4 multiplied by 3. I'm going to take the two numbers, and then I'm going to take the 10 to the power of 8 and the 10 to the power of 5 and multiply those together. So 4 multiplied by 3 is 12 times 10 to the power of 8 plus 5, as the powers are 13. And then I can convert that into 1.2 times 10 to the power of 14. My second question, I have to do 1.7 times 8, and then I have to do 10 to the power of 13 or minus 13 times 10 to the power of minus 1. So 1.7 times 10 to the power of, 1.7 times 8 first of all. I can kind of do it roughly. So 8 sevens are 56, and 8 ones are 8, and add 5 is 13, so 136, and then you have to put back in 1 decimal place. So 13.6 times 10 to the power of, and now you have to do minus 13 plus minus 1 as the power, so really it's minus 13 plus minus 1, so plus minus just becomes minus. So minus 13 minus 1 is minus 14. And then I can convert that back to 1.36 times 10 to the power of, and just be careful here, I made my number smaller again because it's gone from 13.6 into 1.36, but so therefore I must add 1 to my power, but if I add 1 to my power, minus 14 plus 1 is minus 13, so it's not minus 15, it's minus 13.